This I highly recommend. Libro lets you support whatever small bookshop you are wanting to support. I respect the hustle. I, however, will not be participating in the hustle. Nothing in this video is sponsored. I can't stress that enough. Stars Hollow sweatshirt, of course, because it's 60-degree weather for a little bit and I got a taste of fall. That's neither here nor there, but I just needed to declare that I'm so excited for fall. Well, hello, I'm Erica. I am odd. There's a trend going on right now. It's been going on for a couple weeks, mostly over on TikTok, but the trend has been things that are worth the money. This trend is very like, it feels like rage bait a lot because a lot of these people are like, what's worth the money? A $60,000 Birkin. Here's why. And it's very unrealistic. However, I've noticed some very realistic lists, and so today I wanted to tell you 5 bookish things that are worth the money to me. Okay, so before we even start, I want to be clear about something. You do not have to own any of these things to be a reader. These are just things that I have noticed as a reader have made my reading goals easier or more enjoyable or have been beneficial or in a way to like save money as a reader. So that is what this list is, but by no means should you feel pressured to own these things. Number 1 on the list, I think, is something that a lot of people recommend. It is an e-reader of any kind. Now, me personally, I have a Kindle. She's gorgeous. She's cute. What am I reading? Reading Breaking Dawn, right? We're working our way through the Twilight series slowly. However, I have a Kindle Paperwhite, the 6.8 edition in agave green. That is the edition that I have if you're looking for the exact Kindle that I have. However, there is the Kindle Basic, there is the Kindle Oasis, there is Kobo, there is Kobo Clara. I think that's how you pronounce it, Clara. There's the Kobo Libra Color, there's the Kindle Color, there's the Nook. There's an iPad mini that you 100% could use as a Kindle because it's roughly the same size as this. I think it's like 7 inches, so it's very similar. However, an e-reader of any kind, I believe, really is worth the money and improves the speed of what you read, the comfortability that you read. I mean, like with my Kindle, I can go like this and I just read like this before I go to bed. My back just cracked. Anyways, or you can read like this and it's all very comfortable. It's more comfortable to travel with. Before I got a Kindle, I would travel with books and my backpack was always heavy. However, this bad boy, perfect. You can also use your phone as an e-reader, or you can use your iPad, your actual big iPad, as long as you download like the Kindle app or the Kobo app. Either way, I think utilizing an e-reader in some sort of way is super beneficial to reading goals. I read faster. You can have library ebooks downloaded directly onto your e-reader. An e-reader of any kind I feel is beneficial and definitely worth the money. You can get them used. I think I talked about this in my How I Read for Free video, that you can find a bunch of used e-readers. You can find one as new as my edition for like $100. It doesn't have to be a super expensive thing. I know a lot of times during like Prime days, Kindles go on sale a lot. So I always say it's a really, really good investment. Okay, so number 2 on the topic of e-readers, something that I think is definitely worth the money is a Kindle stand and a Kindle remote. I know that Kobo comes with its own remote, so if you want to look into that, if you're looking into a Kobo, I would definitely look into that bundle. However, this is a Kindle stand. This one happens to click onto any edge that you sort of put it on and you screw it down and it just supports it right like that. Mine's adjusted to my bed frame back there so I can just read in bed. There's also ones that are stands on the ground. I have one of those in my living room. Yes, I have 2 Kindle stands. I didn't want to keep moving it. However, I will say they make gooseneck Kindle stands and then they make these, whatever this device is called. This I highly recommend. This is much easier to move. I had a gooseneck Kindle stand and it was horrible. It was painful to adjust. This has a lot more means for adjustment. You can also lock it in place. It's really built for more comfort reading, so I highly recommend this style. And then also some sort of Kindle clicker. It goes right like that, and then usually I have a little remote. This one is teeny tiny. It's like a ring. I have both types of remotes. I really don't care. They're both comfortable. And then you just click through your book. And it makes it so when it's in the Kindle stand, you don't have to keep like bringing your arm up to tap the page. I know in the winter when it's a bit chilly and I'm like under my blankets, just all cozy and warm, or like if I'm going to bed, I don't want to keep bringing my arm up to click the page. It's just a really nifty thing, and I own like 6 or 8 of these. So like if one isn't charged, I'll just go pick up another one and it's ready to go. So I recommend actually having a lot of these. They're relatively cheap. There hasn't been a brand where I'm like, this one works significantly better than this one. It's just sort of a preference. I like them all. Okay, so the next thing that I would recommend is that if you're looking to have a subscription of some kind, right? Usually with e-readers, I promise this isn't all e-reader focused. However, a lot of benefits come from e-reader stuff. So I know that Kobo has like Kobo Unlimited and Kindle has Kindle Unlimited. I personally have Kindle Unlimited. That subscription is worth it because I get to try a bunch of books without paying for them individually. I save thousands of dollars a year. You can DNF 20 books in a month if you're just not feeling it and it's a horrible book. And you're not like, wow, I wasted money on this book that is so disappointing. I'm so upset. No, it's on Kindle, baby. I'm just returning it and getting the next one. It's phenomenal. Another one too, if you want an audiobook subscription, if you're purely like an audiobook person and you're not going to use an e-reader, highly recommend Libro FM. It is an audiobook subscription where you get a credit once a month for a new book on their site, and it supports your local indie bookstore. So instead of supporting a big conglomerate, if you're not wanting to do that and you're not wanting to use that for your audiobook service, you can support your local indie bookstore, or you can support whatever indie bookstore you choose. So like if you went to one, let's say Connecticut, let's say you went to the smallest bookstore in Connecticut and you just loved it and you would love to support them all the time without ordering physical books, you can do that through Libro because it doesn't force you to use a location like Libby does because it's through a library card. Libro lets you support whatever small bookshop you are wanting to support. Okay, so that was a third. This is the fourth. I don't know if I said that was the third, but it was. The fourth thing on my list is special editions of books that you really care about. Here is why. I know that there's some people out there who are avid special edition collectors. They need every edition of their favorite book. And you know what? I respect the hustle. I, however, will not be participating in the hustle. I do, however, participate in buying special editions of books that I really care about and really mean a lot to me. We've seen my special edition of Twilight, and we've seen my special editions of the Maple Hills series, Icebreaker, Wildfire, and Daydream. I have my Empyrean series, my red Christmas edition of Fourth Wing, my Onyx Storm edition with the dragons down the pages. Like, I truly do believe in getting special editions of books that really do mean a lot to you and something that you're really going to cherish, because it just really curates your collection, in my personal opinion. Again, you don't have to buy special editions. A lot of them are expensive. I will say, with the special editions that I own, I did buy them with really, really good deals and or on clearance. So when it comes to that, you can definitely shop smart and you don't have to spend like $1 trillion. You can kind of wait, but it all depends on the special edition. But it's just something that makes, I think, your collection more meaningful. And for me personally, all of my special editions were worth the money. I really love them. I view them as investment pieces as well. They're just something that simply bring me joy, and that's okay. Sometimes you can have something just because it brings you joy. You're allowed to have joy in this life. In case nobody told you, you're allowed to have joy in this life. On that sentimental note, let's get back to technology, shall we? My biggest recommendation, because as we know, I am a big audiobook person. I love audiobooks. I finished an audiobook today. I'm starting one again today. It's my thing. I listen to them through Hoopla, through Libby. My biggest recommendation for audiobook users like I am, get yourself a good pair of over-the-ear headphones. Now, I will say, I didn't get these for myself. So, these are actually Beats. Nothing in this video is sponsored. I can't stress that enough. My dad got me these when I was in college, and I want to say it was about 2016, because I wasn't done with college yet, but I was in college, I remember. And I had been buying like cheap pairs of over-the-ear headphones. And when I say cheap, I don't mean like $30 or $40. I mean, like, I went to the dollar store and I found headphones for $5 and they would break. So for Christmas, my dad got me a pair of Beats. You'll notice that the ear pads are not in any edition of the Beats. That's because I replaced them, because that was the thing, is I've had these for so long, I used them on and off, and then I noticed that the ear pad was wearing off and like the vinyl was sticking to my skin. So if you didn't know, if you have an old pair of Beats like me, or any other over-the-ear headphone that you don't really use anymore, only because the ear pads have started to wear off, you can get these off of Amazon. That's where I got these, and I use them all the time. The reason why I recommend these is I also have a pair of AirPods. I think I've had those AirPods since 2017 or 18 that I have. I'm pretty sure they are first editions. If not, they're the second edition to ever come out of AirPods. I know that they're early and they still work. I've accidentally washed them, they still work. These Beats are still super high quality. I did have the Apple AirPod Maxes for a while. If you look at my old vlogs and you're like, whatever happened to those? I got rid of them. They are so heavy, and I'm an Apple girl. The AirPod Maxes are just so heavy, and it makes sense because you're carrying an entire battery on your head for them. I know that a bunch of people own them and they like them. I will say the one thing I liked about the AirPod Maxes is the noise cancellation on and off feature. I really enjoyed that. These are noise softening. Again, 2016. The technology just kind of wasn't where it is right now for noise canceling. However, these are still pretty noise canceling. I've taken them on flights for years. They fit my head perfectly. They're not heavy. They're flexible. They're really broken in, and I will use these things until I physically cannot use them anymore. I highly recommend over-the-ear headphones instead of AirPods because I don't know if you're like me where when you wear AirPods, sometimes your ears get really sore. I don't know if it's because I have really small ears. I like the original AirPods because they are so small. Even with those, like just being in my ears get sore. It becomes uncomfortable. It can also cause like earwax buildup, and it can cause like a bunch of issues if you're constantly having AirPods and that's the only thing that you use. So I highly recommend a pair of over-the-ear headphones. You don't have to get Beats. You don't have to get super expensive ones. I do recommend spending like $40 to $50. I know that I got my dad a pair of over-the-ear headphones by Brookstone, and those are really good. So I like that brand as well. It's a very personal choice, the headphones that you go with, but I think that these are a must-have nonetheless. You can get a really good pair on Amazon, and for any audiobook lover, this is a must. And that is it for today's video. Those are the 5 bookish things that I think are definitely worth the money. Let me know if you guys have some little bookish items or secrets that you think are worth the money that I didn't list in this video. I love to see new gadgets. We love to see it. We love sharing. We love not gatekeeping. But that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.